All right, hello, Idiots on Parade, the Too Ugly for TV podcast. We mock the news so you don't have to. Hi, Jake.
How's it going?
All is well here. That is Jake Vevra, stand-up comedian in New York City. I am Nathan Timmel, stand-up comedian in Iowa City. And Jake, I do not want to talk about this for more than 1 second because we talked about it last week, but I do want to do a quick follow-up to the Colorado shooter's dad. 1 second. Sure. Do you know how old that guy is?
I'm guessing like 50s, 60s, maybe. Well, probably more like 50s because he was doing UFC shit like early 2000s. So I'm gonna guess like
math.
Early.
That's what's smart. I just looked at his
late
picture.
40s, maybe.
What's that?
Late 40s, maybe, because he probably was
there.
Like
see,
20s.
You're doing math. I looked at his picture and went, okay, 65. Dude is 48. He is haggard. He is a bad 48.
Did you watch that full 20-minute interview with him?
Yes.
Okay, here's the thing. Now, I went back
again. We've got to move on. We talked about him last week. Okay, go ahead.
All right, dude. So again, Dick Delaware, he actually was with, big porn companies. Like, I don't know if you looked up any of the porn, but it's like, oh yeah, this is legit. It's not some guy in a minivan with a camera. Like it's like a production, And so they asked him when he stopped doing porn. I thought it would have been maybe the ones that I saw when I did a quick Google. No, he said in 2020, 2 years ago, somebody was still paying that guy to fuck women on camera like that.
But he's still a good conservative Christian, and he's glad his son isn't gay.
Still a good conservative Mormon, he said.
Well, and that's Mormon.
Dude, yeah, he said Mormon. Now, I'm guessing Mitt Romney would have a problem with some of these pictures. It wasn't like Mormon friendly, like Cinemax after 11 p.m. kind of porn. You know what I mean? That no penetration, missionary eye contact, slow jazz. No, it was fucking rough. And I even found one scene where he's doing a DP. I don't know if the listeners are familiar with DP. That's double penetration. That's one dick in the front door, one dick in the back door. Now, the thing is, that's what blows my mind about this guy being homophobic, because I don't know if you've ever had, like, I don't know, a finger in the ass with your dick in the front, but I mean, not to be too graphic, but you feel every little vein and razor bump that's going on. I mean, that wall in between the two, it can't really be called the wall. Let's be honest. It's more like a thick glove or something. You know what I mean? It's more like Trojan extra thick. Yeah, you feel every little thing. So if that was like another dick in there, forget it, man. And that's basically like a double dick sandwich. You know what I mean? You're basically it's being tethered together in there and just squeezed like the earth squeezes coal to make a diamond, And look, I'm not the czar of who's gay and who's not. All right, that's not what I'm coming on here to do. No pun intended. But what I am saying is that after you pull your dick out of a double dick sandwich, you can't turn around and quote Leviticus to me. You know what I mean?
Well, I will argue back, and then let's move on. Maybe that experience is what made him so homophobic. Maybe he just got so icky oogie that he that's what sent him down the path of gay is bad, because he was in a dick sandwich.
Oh, you think I saw the evil X-Men villain's origin story?
Yes.
in this Dick Delaware point. You think the whole time he deserves an Oscar because he seemed like he was into it. You know what I mean? Like he was all professional. He's like, oh yeah, this feels great. This feels awesome. And then it was just cut. Oh, yeah. I will create a homophobic monster.
Acting.
Yeah. Wow. He deserves Dick Delaware.
Peter O'Toole and Dick Delaware.
He deserves a fucking Oscar. Daniel Day-Lewis is going to watch that and be like, I wept when I saw Dick Delaware pretend to enjoy having his dick against another man's dick, even though he is the most homophobic dad in America.
This got graphic fast. All right. I said 1 second. We've talked too long. If you are listening on Chicago's Comedy Scene Radio Network, hello. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Chicago.
All right. Let's jump in. I usually send you a bunch of links for stories we should talk about. I didn't really send you any this week because the two biggest stories, I mean, they're just, let's jump right in with Kanye. When I first started hearing clips of Kanye going off and praising Nazis and saying he loved Hitler, and I was ready to jump on here and make fun of him and have a good laugh. Jake, did you listen to the entire interview?
With Alex Jones, no, I just heard the clips, man.
I listened to a big chunk of it. It reminded me of Roseanne on Joe Rogan. I don't feel bad for Kanye, but dude is legit crazy. I always knew he was stupid. I always knew he was
Right.
stupid. I never understood why we lionized him or championed him or called him a genius. His music has always sucked. He's always been stupid. But
The
he
early stuff was good.
no,
The early
nope,
stuff
it
was
was not.
good.
Nope. See,
It was good.
that's part of the problem. Saying his early stuff was good is part of the problem. First part of solving a problem is admitting you made a mistake. Society built him up. He's always sucked. Everything I've
Look,
heard
I'm
from him
not saying
going,
he's Paul McCartney. I'm saying like The Graduate was pretty decent. Like it
no,
wasn't. But the thing is like even if it was, it's like okay, so he's really, really good at this one thing. That doesn't mean he's really good at everything else, or that he should be. I don't know. Schooling us on geopolitics.
right. Well, here's the other thing, and then I'll turn it over to you because I was ready to make fun of him, and now I can't because two thoughts. One, it's funny how in America we talk about mental health nonstop. We say, "Oh, people need to take care of their mental health. Oh, you have anxiety, you need to take care of yourself." Dude is legit crazy. Roseanne is legit crazy. She got hit by a car. She has head trauma. He's bipolar. When
Oh,
they
and
do
when you
something
say hit by a
crazy,
car, let me kind of stop you there. The emblem went through her skull into her brain,
yeah,
and she had to like learn how to walk and talk again, and she was never the same after that. Like it was
no,
a fucking like yeah, like we're talking brain injury because people overuse trauma a lot now.
right.
It was like I legit heard a guy on stage talking about his trauma was that his landlord raised his rent. He wasn't being funny. He was doing like one man show. This is my Nanette thing.
Yeah,
I was interviewed by the New York Times about my landlord raising my, and that's trauma. It's like, hey, that sucks, bro. But like when you
but
said trauma
trauma,
10 years ago, they were like, oh, where's the brain scar? You know, like
yeah.
where's the fucking head injury? But no, she legit had brain trauma. Like a thing went into her brain. A really smart Norwegian dude had to fucking like over the course of like 2 days and get that shit out without killing her.
And so I find it funny that we talk about like the trouble. Oh my God, the landlord raised your rent. How did you deal with it? Let's sit down and have a talk. Do you need to lay down? Can I pat your head? Can I put a cold compress? But when you have someone who is legit insane, who has had trauma, who
Right.
then they are cast out. And I'm not forgiving what Kanye said, and I'm not forgiving what Roseanne said. But when you step back and look at it from that point of view, say, oh well, they're just
Right.
batshit crazy. They are legit insane people, and have had something rewire their brain, but instead they just get screamed at. The second part about Kanye that I want to talk about, and I don't know if you picked up on this from the clips you heard, but everybody's focusing on the anti-Semitism, which is fine and good. He is anti-Semitic. He denies the Holocaust. What he's saying is horrible. The problem, or to me, the issue is he is doing all of this for Jesus. He makes it very clear that he is trying to be Jesus and love
Wait, did he say
everyone.
Jesus or Yeezus?
No, he's saying Jesus now. Jesus is in the past. And that's, again, part of the problem. When he was calling himself Jesus, because everybody was calling him a genius, the problem is us. We are the problem. We take these individuals like Trump or Kanye or Pat Robertson or Jerry Falwell, and we give them tons of money and we listen to them. And then we're surprised when they turn out to be con artists, or we keep buying into it. So I am surprised that everybody's focusing on the anti-Semitism, which needs to be focused on, but not focusing on the fact that, oh shit, religion is what's really at play here. Religion is what's damning. When he can say, I love Jesus, Jesus says, love everyone. Therefore, I love Hitler. We have to forgive Hitler. I mean, I don't know why nobody is talking about that. I have not heard a single person talking about the fact that he is a newfound Christian and he's fucking jumping in hard, and he's jumping in hard because of his fucking rewired non-working brain.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I've been an atheist my whole life. Finding religion is a sign of severe mental illness, as far as I'm concerned. But
Yeah.
that said, we overuse the term mental illness so much that it kind of means nothing now. Oh, this person's mentally ill. They're bipolar. They're happy sometimes and sad other times. It's like, yeah, or they're a babbling fucking lunatic, which, yeah, you listen to Kanye interviews, you listen to Roseanne interviews, like not just the clips, but the whole things, which again, should have done that with the Alex Jones thing. Didn't want to get shadow banned for listening to the whole thing, or whatever the fuck happens. But you listen to that, you're like, oh, I'm not listening to a normal fucking person right now. I'm listening to someone who's legit mentally ill. I'm mentally ill. I'm bipolar. No, this guy has a different level of shit. Or Roseanne, legit mentally ill with brain trauma. I have trauma. My doggy died. No, it's like,
You're
this is
sad.
real.
Your dog
This
died.
is-
You are sad.
Yes.
This
yes.
person has a fucked up, synapses firing in his brain at all times.
Right, there's levels, there's degrees, and we call everything, whether it's a 1.2 or a 10, we talk about it like it's a fucking 10. And so now when a 10 is staring us directly in the face and going, here's Netanyahu, I've never heard of him. We don't know what to call it anymore, because we've been calling everything a fucking 10 for the past, I don't know.
And so we
5
cast
years.
it out. All we do is react in anger and say, how dare Kanye, cancel him. And I'm okay with canceling him, because whenever they say Kanye lost billions, he's losing this, my response, as I said earlier, is why did he have the billions to begin with? He was a designer for Adidas. Fuck that. He sold a white t-shirt for $300 or something stupid like that. This is on us for championing him undeservedly. And then we act surprised when a moron exposes himself as a moron, or in this case, legit crazy. But I agree with you. The fact that you call everything a 10, and then when you see a 10, the only way you can react is to get rid of it. I don't want to deal with it. Fucking cast it out, excommunicate him, and shout about him. Don't go to the core of the problem, which is religion and mental illness, legit mental illness, not I'm sad, having a bad day, I need a safe space, a quiet zone, or whatever the fuck they do at Google whenever someone, it rained that day. So
plus, I asked my good friend Britney Spears about it, and she was like, well, at least he didn't do anything really crazy, like shave his head in 2005. Oh, we would have to lock him in his fucking dad's attic for a decade and a half if he did that. I should have. Britney Spears was like, when I shaved my head, I should have said it was because I loved Hitler and not because I was sad about my marriage. Then maybe I could have kept my money, huh? Huh, Kanye?
Well, that's I had a thought, then I lost it. God damn it! Something about. Oh, fuck. You said something that triggered something in me. Ooh, triggered. Not like that. Fuck it. So,
I will say, I one of the clips that I watched that I did think was particularly funny was when he was going, I didn't know who Netanyahu was, so I made this little.
Oh my God!
With the Yahoo thing.
Yes.
Who's Netanyahu? And I'm like, how the fuck did you just learn who Netanyahu is, but you're schooling us on the Jews? It's like, dude, even anti-Semites don't like this guy now, because they're like, dude, you didn't even memorize the most powerful ones. What are you talking about?
Well, that's the other part. So everybody's focusing. Again, I think the focus is off. Everybody is focusing on the fact he says, I love Hitler, I love Nazis. And nobody seems to, even the Anti-Defamation League, the quotes I saw are focusing on that, and not the fact that he blames all of world problems on the Zionists, which is a keyword for Jewish people, the Jewish hierarchy, whatever you want to call it. He goes back to that a lot. So the fact they're saying he said he loved Hitler, yeah, great. You can say something stupid and crazy like that, but he thinks everything that is wrong in the world is because of the Zionists. That's the anti-Semitism. Semitism. Saying you love Hitler, that's bad, that's stupid, that shows a sign of crazy. Saying that everything, it's like if Mel Gibson had not had one drunken moment on a highway and said Jews start all the wars. Also another person that is bipolar and treated as bipolar mental illness with alcohol, and has since reformed, has talked to Jewish leaders, but we don't need to go down that path. The fact that he thinks Jews control the world, the Zionists, that's the anti-Semitic part. I mean, saying you love Hitler, it's bad, it's evil, it's wrong, I condemn it. Saying that everything that goes, oh, I stubbed my toe this morning, Zionists. I don't know why nobody's focusing on that.
Well, both are pretty anti-Semitic. I mean, I don't know.
They are.
We're comparing, you know, 210s. They're 210s. But like the thing is like when they're talking about like Zionists, that term is mainly used, as far as I know it, to talk about like the expansion of Israel. You should maybe know who was the prime minister of Israel for like 25 fucking years if you're going to be throwing around the term Zionist. I bet there was a lot of like no shit Nazis out there going like, dude, I'm throwing my Yeezys away. This guy's not even doing his fucking homework. Listen to that.
Yeah.
He doesn't know who Netanyahu was until right now.
And I think we brushed over the part, going back to his mental illness. I think I talked over you for a second. The clip is him, and he goes back to this a half a dozen times.
Prime minister now. Now it's a guy named Yuri something, but I don't know. I'm not an anti-Semitic. I don't need to memorize this shit.
Well, but what he said, he has a fishing little net and a bottle of Yoo-hoo chocolate drink, I think.
He's even pronouncing it wrong. This fucking moron.
And so he is holding these two things up and saying, it's like almost like a Michael Jackson voice. He's like, "Hi, I'm Netanyahu, get it?" Like, he's talking in a high squeaky voice. Benjamin Netanyahu has a very deep, powerful voice.
Yes.
But that right there, another sign of crazy. So here's my favorite part of the whole thing is the entire interview. Whenever Alex Jones would try and steer him away or say that he's trolling us, he would jump in and say, "No, I'm not trolling. I love Hitler." Like he kept going back to that. And that is what got funny, because anytime Alex Jones would say, you know, like, "Well, are you serious? Are you trolling us? You're pulling it," like, "No, I love Hitler." Like anytime he would just go straight back to it. That got amusing because Alex Jones got uncomfortable. And if you can make Alex Jones uncomfortable, holy shit.
It's pretty funny, man, because Alex Jones was on there going like, "Holy fuck, I'm about to lose another billion. Holy, I don't even have the first billion. How am I going to come up with a second billion because of whatever the fuck he's talking about? I'm screwed now."
Yeah. Oh, one more thing. I actually made a note to talk to you about this, which I thought was funny. Is that called Balenciaga? Is that the name of the designer? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, dude. I just bought my son one of their dolls. I like their dolls. I got him a little S&M. I said, "Oh yeah, hey, happy birthday. It's the bad bear. Yeah, spank him and call him a bad bear." You pull his little cord, he goes, "I'm a bad bear. Stick a thumb in my ass. I've been in a bad bear."
All right. So if no one knows what we're talking about, I'll get an image and throw it up. This is like any clickbait thing, Jake. When I first read the headline, I said, "Oh, who's blowing what out of proportion now?" That was my thought. Who's blowing what out of proportion?
Same.
And then I saw the picture, and it is a legit bondage bear. I mean, it is a teddy bear in bondage, BDSM, and I'm like, holy shit. Now, the reason I'm thinking of this at this moment is when you watch or listen to the Kanye interview, he blames everything on the Zionists. But the instant Balenciaga comes up, he fucking loses his shit, gets angry, and starts defending them. This company that put kids in an ad holding a bondage bear. When I saw the picture, I'm like, holy shit. And first of all, not only who does that, but how many committees did this clear? Like nobody raised their hand and said, is this a good idea? Is this the advertising we want to go with? Nobody said that. Or if they did, they got shot down and said, no, this is good. It's wearing leather and chains and a dog collar. It's kids are into bondage. We're teaching them about safe words. You know, Sesame Street teaches them the alphabet. We're teaching them safe words. Kanye's defending them. He blames everything on the Zionists, but Balenciaga, they're good in his book. And I don't remember the exact words. I should have written stuff down, but he got heated and was angry that they were attacking Balenciaga. It was a very, very interesting turn of events to hear him just like go on the defensive and champion Balenciaga.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. He's anti-Jewish people, but pro pedophiles. I don't know. That was fucking weird.
It was bizarre.
But that's the thing is, I think he's doing a weird combative thing where you ever seen like usually like a drunk guy in an argument where he's just doubling the fuck down.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're calling me crazy? Fuck you. I'll show you crazy. And then he flips the table. You know, I think he's doing a weird thing where he's like, oh, you want to see an anti-Semite? Here's a fucking swastika. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you. I think that's what a lot of this is. like the guy's nuts. I'm not trying to excuse it in any fucking way, but I'm seeing a combative temper tantrum of a fucking child because he's not all there. He's clearly not all fucking there.
Right. And he's been championed as a hero forever. So suddenly a door gets closed on him and he is throwing a temper tantrum. Fuck you. I will not apologize or capitulate. I'm going to double down. I'm Kanye, goddammit. It's like Gumby.
Right.
I'm
Gumby. I knew this guy wasn't all there from the time. You remember when he took that award out of Taylor Swift's hand at like the Grammys or something? And
he just went up on stage. I'm going to let you speak, but Beyonce's better than you.
Beyonce had one of the greatest videos of all time. Right. And then he fucking gets on, I think it was like Kimmel or something the next day. And Kimmel's just asking him some weird shit about like, how would this make your mom feel? And he just had this blank look on his face and he just kind of babbled like, I'm just Kanye and I don't know. And I was like, dude, something's not there. Like there's like something is not firing in there. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist, but like the lights are on. Somebody's not home right now. Like this is not a fucking guy who's all the way there. And people have just been talking about him for years. Like he's a normal fucking dude. And it's like, there's something's fucking seriously off with this guy. And it's so nothing fucking shocks me out of this guy. Cause it's like, yeah, you're not dealing with a fucking adult. Like he's like a 5-year-old trapped in a 45-year-old's fucking body, man. Like it's wild.
And that goes to what I said much earlier is I've always known he was stupid from the moment I heard him interviewed. I'm not saying I'm Nostradamus and I would have predicted this, but yeah, I didn't see this coming.
No,
but like you just said,
he kind of went off the rails here.
Yeah, this went on, but I like you said, I'm not surprised. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I said stupid a long time ago. Now he's evolved into batshit crazy. And to put a bow on it, I'll just repeat what I've already said. It's funny how all we talk about is mental illness, and then we are confronted with it face to face. And instead of dealing with it or having an honest discussion, everybody talks about we need to have an honest discussion about race, about mental illness, about whatever. Instead of having we start screaming and pointing and yelling.
Right.
Dude needs help. I honestly never liked him, so I don't care if he gets it or not because he's a fucking multimillionaire and whatever. But it's just funny the way society reacts to stimulus.
No, that's true. Things. We only talk about mental illness when it comes to like the ones and twos. Oh no, she's mentally ill. She's bipolar. She's this and that. She had the gymnast that didn't want to do a backflip. Let's talk about mental illness because of her, but then a fucking 10 comes along and it's like, ooh, let's stick a microphone in the 10's face and then fucking ridicule it for whatever the fuck comes out of its crazy 10 mouth. How dare you, 10?
And not to make fun of, was it Simone Biles? The conversation, I don't know that was mental illness. That was mental health. And that's taking a kid and then just putting nothing but pressure on that kid her whole life to succeed and push her body further than it should be pushed.
Right.
And to play through injuries. So with her, it wasn't mental illness.
It's a long line of creepy, weird shit that goes on. With
molestation by that fucking Michigan doctor. So with her, to finally snap and say, I'm not competing. I can't do this anymore. I get it. That's legit.
Right. I'm just saying she wasn't as batshit as Kanye combining a star David and a swastika just tweeting it the fuck out.
Exactly.
Like,
she didn't say, I have been told I need to be a champion. I can't do it anymore. I need a break. Also, I love Hitler. She had a barrier where she was articulate and knew what to say and knew how to present herself because she did need a break. And there was no snap where it's also now I'm going to go on Alex Jones. And no, she needed she's the mental health we find acceptable because good. You take care of you. Kanye can't take care of Kanye because he's legit fucking crazy. He needs a handler. He needed, as you said earlier, Britney's intervention. Britney's dad should adopt Kanye West That is the stance I am taking.
He should live there. He should live there. Britney Spears was like a 2 out of 10 in terms of crazy. She shaved her head and flashed the puss a bit like that. And for that, she was locked in her father's attic for 17 years, whereas Kanye has been fully fucking crazy for the last 10 years, like publicly, like we've known about it. Yep. And I still, it's just sort of like, put a microphone in front of his face and he's responsible for every fucking thing he says. And let's not try to help him at all. Just surrounded by yes men and give him a big shoe deal.
A big
and I will say, it is pretty weird to see an anti-Semitic guy who's really successful. I'm not saying that anti-Semitism's ever good, but it's weird to get, like, if I thought that Jewish people were secretly responsible for, like controlling all of the entertainment industry, and I'd made about $1 billion in that industry, I'd be sucking every rabbi's dick. What's he talking about? I don't like Jewish people because they control the weather. Where do you live? Maui. It's beautiful. Even the rain feels nice. Even the rain feels like, dude, if I thought that Jewish people ran the entertainment industry and I'd made even like a 20th of what Kanye's made in it, every Passover, every synagogue gets a cheese basket. They get a cheese basket, and I'm dropping it off personally, and it's got a pair of Yeezys in it, and they'll be like, what's this for? And I'll be like, oh, come on. You know, huh? Wink.
Thank
wink,
you.
wink.
Thank you. Yeah.
Triple platinum, a 4th time in a row, even though it all sounds like auto-tune shit. What? Oh, you guys are too good to me. You're too good to me. I'm a pro-Semitic conspiracy theorist.
That is the approach to take.
Dude, like Mel Gibson with his shit. Jewish people run the entertainment industry. Well, it's a good thing that they like making Mad Max and fucking Lethal Weapon movies. Hey, Mel, that's a glass is half full kind of secret cabal for you, ain't it?
Yes, they started all the wars, but they did make 4 lethal weapons. So, tomato, tomato. Are they evil? Are they good?
It's like, bro, if you really think that they control it, I mean, it shouldn't be you who's mad. It should be like a guy who's waiting tables right now, hoping that this 15th audition goes his way. That's the guy. Like, not saying he should be anti-Semitic. They don't secretly run the fucking entertainment industry or the banks or any shit. But like,
if you believe that,
right. That's the guy that should be mad. The guy who's doing fucking extra work. You know what I mean? Sending 15-year-old headshots into places. Like, that's the guy who should be mad about people secretly running in the end. It's not a guy going, well, I made 0.9 of $1 billion. I'm just south of $1 billion. But if it wasn't for Jewish people, I mean, I'd be at like 1.3 billion, really. It's like, what? Fuck off.
The other way to come at this is if it were true, which it's not. I don't want to get taken out of context, which is pretty easy to do. You'd think that Kanye would come at it from a point of view. He'd have a spreadsheet and do a PowerPoint presentation like, okay, here's where I began. Then I met these people that are on the inside and control things. And we did a secret pinky handshake and they launched me up to here. Like, he would have evidence. He would say, this is how they built me up. This is what they did to my career. But he seems to leave that out. And anybody that seems to say that Jewish people control everything, again, they leave that out because it's funny when it is someone at the top. It would be the waiter. It's
it's
weird. Brilliant take, Jake. I love that take.
Yeah. Like, if they're controlling everything, you're like on the top 0.0001% of people in the industry. Like, how are you fucking complaining? You won the lottery and now you're mad at the fucking New York lottery system. Like, what are you talking about? Like, shut up.
That, and if anything shows that he's crazy, that he's legit brain damaged, there's something wrong, that should be it right there. That should be the argument. Like, if he were to go to court for crazy, that you could be his lawyer and argue that, and I think the jury would go, yeah, that makes sense. He is legit crazy. It's not a matter of him being sane and evil and anti-Semitic. He is crazy and anti-Semitic.
Right. Or it's just, here's a picture of him in an interview wearing a fucking gimp mask and talking about geopolitics. Like, do you even need to know? Do you even need to know? If you see, like, yeah, but what is going on with the world? Like, something's wrong with him. Like, what do not excusing everything he does, but like, he's fucking nuts. It's like, you know who else is going to scream anti-Semitic shit? The guy shitting his pants on the subway. But I don't sit there and go to that guy and go, hey man, why's your worldview like that? I mean, what's going on with your life? Like, oh no, they've been invading my head. They've been probing me. They're part alien, these people. And it's like, dude, he's fucking nuts.
Oh man, I had a flash and I don't have anything funny to say, but with the instant you said the guy shitting his pants, when I lived in Los Angeles, you would come across those guys on the street corner, just full on beard and mane of hair, unwashed, homeless, just screaming at the clouds. And you would cross the goddamn street. You would literally like, oh, I see that in the distance. I am cutting across here. You would not approach and say, hey, do you have a bottle of Yoo-hoo and a fishing net? Can you tell me about Israeli politics? And by the way, I bet if you were to ask, I bet the homeless guy in the corner screaming at the clouds would know who Benjamin Yahu is, Netanyahu.
Yeah, he was prime minister for a while, like until very
and
recently.
Even when he wasn't prime minister, he was a very important figure,
right,
in leadership roles. So.
It would be like talking about the deep state here, but not knowing who the Bushes or the Clintons were. What the fuck are you talking about? No, you can't be in charge of this conspiracy website anymore. You're a fucking moron, dude.
Yes. All right. What else do we want to talk about? We can't get into much because we're running out of time, but let's bring up this really quickly. The Forgotten Story is what I labeled it. I did send you a link. The founder of the Oath Keepers was found guilty of seditious conspiracy. That story got brushed aside by Kanye. I mean, literally disappeared. We had a guy that found it. Now, here's a guy. Did you hear his story or read his story, the founder of the Oath Keepers?
I missed this link until right now, but I have been kind of following this one.
Okay, well, this I found interesting because this guy is, to me, it's almost, I don't want to say parallel to Kanye, but what he did started with good intention. And I'm not talking about January 6th. I'm talking about the Oath Keepers. When the Patriot Act was first written, because the government wanted to dig into everybody's phone calls and emails and keep an eye on us, he said, wait a second, that sounds unconstitutional. I'm going to found a group that defends the Constitution. That little tiny grain, that's very small sliver of sanity, is the only part that's good about him, because he went batshit crazy almost immediately. He's the guy that brought armed people to Cliven Bundy when he was having a standoff with the federal government. He went to shoot federal agents. So it's where was I going with this? It's just amazing that we have this guy that founded something that went so off the rails and brought guns to Virginia so that they could, as soon as Trump gave the order, he could, start getting in control himself. The fact that he was found guilty, deservedly so, but the story went nowhere because Kanye overshadowed it. It's a good moment for the Justice Department to find him guilty. Now, the problem is, from what I heard, there were 4 people on trial and he was found guilty, but wait, no, there are 4 people coming up on trial. So he was found guilty because he was the leader, but other people being tried with him were not found guilty of the same charges because they claimed, dude, we were the foot soldiers. We weren't told anything. And the government's trying to bring the same charges against everybody. They're doing what we talked about earlier. They're doing it's on a level scale of 1 to 10. This guy was a 10. Others might have been a 5, 6, 7, but they're trying everybody as a 10 or an 11, and it might not work. So it's good that this guy got.
They were found guilty of smaller ones, like
smaller ones, but they're trying to hit everybody
acts,
with the main charge.
like
so everybody's guilty of something small, which is good, but he got the big charge, which is nice.
You know what? I'm looking at a picture of this guy. Do you know how old he is by any chance?
Is he 48, like Dick Delaware?
Yeah, but honestly, his porn is better. The Oath Keepers guy. He started doing porn after founding the Oath Keepers, and he looks really cool because he's got a patch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like railing women and screaming about freedom the whole time. And it's a pretty good it's a pretty good flick if you get the chance. But no, I'm looking at this guy. And, he's always got the camo stuff and the eye patch. And he's got he's dressed in like decked out military gear.
Yeah. Well,
And
he's former military. He's not playing dress up. He is former military. And by the way,
right.
I was trying to think of a joke when you asked how old he is, and I was going to say, is he Dan Crenshaw's dad? Now that'll get me canceled right there.
But no, I think it's weird to see these guys who are dressed up in army gear, even if they are former military, and go, no, we're going
going to
defend the
brunch.
freedom.
I'm
We're
dressing
going
like
to
this
take
to go
over
to
the
brunch.
federal government. And then they're like 80 fucking pounds overweight, dude. Like, what are you talking? Okay, here's what I remember from like actual dismounted firefights I was in, which honestly wasn't a ton for the most part. We were like
Right.
mounted, like in the Humvees, later on the MRAPs. But you run a lot, you get out of breath very quickly, because your adrenaline's up because you're getting fucking shot at and shit's blowing up. So that's already making you out of breath. Now you're running with gear on, and you're popping at muzzle flashes. You're way out of breath, dude. You know what's really hard to do when you're out of breath? Fucking shoot accurately. And all these guys are so out of weight. It's like, dude, if you get in one firefight, you're going to keel over and have a fucking heart attack. 30 seconds into it, they're not even going to have to hit you. They're just going to have to fire a couple times, and then you just go, and then you're fucking down. You got to do cardio,
This
bud.
Is the big one. This is the big one.
Yeah. It's like, what do you know, 2 flights of stairs can take you up, badass patriot guy. Like, what are you talking about? Like, do some fucking cardio. Yeah, it's not just about the gear and fucking practicing. Yeah, that shit's important. You need it. Yeah. But like cardio, it's big. It's big. Like, and they would train us for that. We would do stuff that they would call stress shoots, where they would have us do long road marches with like, a bunch of heavy shit on, and then we would sprint into a firing range, drop all that heavy shit, and immediately start firing. Very difficult to do. And yeah, even though you can train for it and be a little better at it than you were before, but you're still not shooting as accurately as you would if you were just at the fucking range taking shots.
It ain't the movies.
No, yeah, it's not the fucking movies at all. And like, for people out there who've never, because most people have not gone shooting after fucking sprinting, like it's just, no one runs a fucking mile to the shooting range here and then just starts fucking taking shots. Imagine you just sprinted. Imagine you just ran a mile or 2 or whatever, or however long, and then sprinted a quarter mile and then went to go play pool or throw darts immediately after that. Immediately sprinting, playing fucking pool. Even if you were really good at pool before that, you ain't taking the same kind of shots as you would have if you were just kind of at the bar with a couple drinks and you calm. If you practice doing that a lot, you might be slightly better than had you not practiced it. But what would really help you a lot is not being fucking out of breath. You know what helps with that?
20 years after the fact you were in the military, not 20, 30, 40 years after.
And it's so weird to me because these guys are so, we train the tactics and we're ready for this and that and blah, 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 blah. Like, well, then you'd think you would know you should probably be in some kind of fucking shape cardio-wise. And I realize I've gotten a little out of shape since I've been in the Army. That's because I work in radio. I'm not talking about I'm going to take over the federal government tomorrow.
One quick thought, and then we got to move on and wrap it up. I visited Tarnak Farms when I was in Afghanistan, and that was where they showed all the pictures of the terrorists on monkey bars, and everybody made fun of them, like, oh, they're on monkey bars. That fucking shit is hard. If you're on monkey bars, you have good upper body strength. All right, we have 1 minute left. I do want to touch on a comment we got regarding last week's video about the roller coaster and the overweight woman. A commenter on YouTube, Big C49042, said, I have hardly any roller coasters because I am 6'11" and I don't fit. I'm not going to say it's not body inclusive. I know I'm tall as fuck. That's what it is. People get it. Visit jakevevra.com. Visit nathantimmel.com.
No, I hope he goes crazy with this. I hope he's like, no one knows the pain of a guy over 6'4". Also, we don't get enough pussy. Wait, we get all the pussy. Never mind. I don't need the roller coaster. I like pussy.
There you go. All right. Bye, everyone.
Later.
All right.
Oh, shit. It says less than a minute. My bad. I didn't see that.
No, it's all good. I like having the timer on because, as I said, I'm going to chop out a Kanye part and post that along with the full thing. We'll see. I like having this time limit because it keeps us honest. So, all right, my friend.